Today, we're headed to the gorgeous Greek island of Crete. It's a place where ancient history and modern innovation are coming together in a really incredible way. We're going to see how they're taking things we'd normally call waste and turning them into something wonderful. So, Crete is a real powerhouse in the Mediterranean. I mean, its whole identity is tied up in farming and, of course, tourism. You've got olive groves for days, huge herds of sheep, amazing local food, but all of that abundance, well, it creates a huge challenge that most people never even see. And that leads us to the big question we're tackling today. What if the very thing that makes an island thrive is also creating its biggest headache? It's a fascinating paradox, and it's right at the heart of Crete's economy. Okay, let's dive in. Because before we get to all the cool solutions, you really need to grasp the sheer scale of this problem. For years, all these agricultural byproducts were just seen as, well, garbage. And we are talking about a staggering amount of stuff. With over 1.5 million sheep on the island, you've got tons of wool that's just thrown away every single year. Then, after a big harvest like fava beans, all the leftover plant stuff is just left there. Same goes for food factories. Things like oat husks or carob byproducts are treated as trash. It's just a massive missed opportunity. So this slide really shows you the before picture. All this material was just a problem to be dealt with, which was inefficient and a total waste of money. But Crete has this incredibly bold vision. They want to be a zero-emission island by 2030. And to get there, they have to become a leader in the circular economy, which means turning that waste into brand new, sustainable products. And this is where it gets exciting. A project called Cssboost is basically the engine making this whole transformation happen. It's being led by the Mediterranean Agro-Food Competence Center, or MCAC, which is like an innovation hub for farming. Their whole goal is to create 3 different value chains to turn all that waste into worth. So let's check out the first of these value chains. And it all starts with one of the most forgotten resources on the whole island, sheep's wool. The process here is just brilliantly simple. First, they collect all that unwanted wool from farmers at 4 different spots. Then, using a really low-energy method, they process it and press it into these tiny little pellets. And boom, just like that, what was once garbage is now a super valuable organic soil enhancer. And we are not talking about a small-time operation here. In the very first year of this pilot program, they collected and processed 100 tons of wool that would have otherwise been thrown out. That is a huge amount of material saved. And the impact is just incredible. Early tests are showing these pellets are fantastic for the soil. They help it hold on to more water, which is absolutely critical in that Mediterranean climate, and they make nutrients more available for the plants. It's a powerful, all-natural alternative to chemical fertilizers. Okay, that brings us to the second value chain, which takes this whole idea of recycling and brings it right back into the field, creating what is basically a perfect closed-loop system. Okay, follow me on this cycle. A farmer grows and harvests fava beans. But instead of getting rid of all the leftover stalks and leaves, they just shred them right there in the field. That shredded material gets plowed immediately back into the ground, creating this amazing natural green manure. Then they plant a new crop like tomatoes right into that super rich soil. No waste, no transportation costs, just a healthier, more efficient farm. It's a perfect circle. And this chart just says it all. The original goal was to cut back on synthetic fertilizers by about 10%, but the results from the pilot program have completely smashed that goal. They've hit a 30% reduction. I mean, that is a massive win for the environment and for the farmers' wallets. Now, for our third and final value chain, we're moving from the farm into the food industry. This is where leftovers are getting turned into a recipe for much healthier food for all of us. So think about it. Whenever oats and carob are processed, there's always leftover stuff. Normally, it gets tossed, but this project collects it. And here's the really clever part. They've found that if you process these leftovers directly into a dough, instead of drying them into flour first, it uses less energy, and, this is key, it keeps way more of the good nutrients. This enriched dough then becomes the base for brand new baked goods. And the benefits go straight to you, the consumer. These new bakery products aren't just sustainable, they're legitimately healthier. We're talking more nutritional value, more antioxidants, way more fiber, and a low glycemic index, which is awesome for managing blood sugar. They are literally creating superfoods out of scraps. So we've seen these 3 incredible value chains in action. But how's the whole pilot program actually doing? Let's take a look at the hard numbers. This table gives us a really clear snapshot of where things stand. The sheep wool project already hit its target of 100 tons, done. The farm residue project is making great headway, and like we saw, it's tripled its fertilizer reduction goal. The food byproducts chain is a bit newer, but it's already repurposing tons of material. It is crystal clear that real, tangible progress is happening across the board. Now, these numbers prove that this works. But what's the big picture here? What does this all mean for the future? This isn't just about a few cool projects. It's about creating a blueprint for a whole new way of thinking. And at its heart, this is what a circular economy is all about. It's a massive shift away from the old model of take, make, and throw away. The new idea is to design waste out of the system from the very beginning, keep materials circulating for as long as we can, and help our natural systems bounce back. And the work is definitely not stopping. They've got clear goals all the way to 2026. The plan is to make the wool pellets even better, ramp up production of that healthy dough, and finish up research to see how much people love the new products. It shows a really clear path from a successful pilot to potentially an island-wide system. Which really leaves us with one final big thought. Crete is showing us on a small scale what could be possible for the whole planet. By looking at waste not as an end, but as a new beginning, could these ideas from a small island actually be the blueprint for a zero-waste future for every single one of us? It's a pretty powerful question to think about. Thanks for tuning in.